Good evening, everybody, and welcome back to this week's edition of the Pretenders or Contenders Coaches Show. I'm your host, Coach Devon Powell, head football coach at Laurel High School, also assistant basketball coach. Got with me today my co-host here, the hardest working man in podcast land, Midnight Rider. What's going on, brother?
What's going on, sir? How you feeling, man?
Hey, man, I'm doing good, man. I finally recovered from last weekend's debacle. Still not watching basketball tonight, but I'm feeling a little bit better.
Shouldn't even be that way, coach.
It's always that way. It's always that way. It's always that way. You know, I got so many phone calls at the end of that game. Like I didn't answer my phone till the next day. I had people calling me on Facebook. Like, why are you calling me on Facebook?
Yes,
That
sir.
means you don't have my number. So why are you calling me on Facebook? I don't want to hear anything
right there
that you got to say. So
we all been there, though. We all been there.
Yeah, we all been there, but
because I never forget what's that? Chris Jenkins hits that shot.
To
kill us in that final.
Yeah. Oh man, Villanova. Yep.
My phone that night, I had to just turn it off.
Yeah, I was so happy that night. First of all, because Jenkins was a local kid, so
right,
that made it even better. But
yeah, I saw him and Marcus there. I think it was his junior year. At Gonzaga. We played them up there. I wouldn't have known. Yeah, you couldn't have told me you was glad I was going to hit that shot on us. But
yeah, last person I would have thought about. But hey, it was a great moment.
Yeah,
great moment. All right, man. Everybody, appreciate y'all joining us tonight. Got a great show lined up for you. I'm gonna be joined by my guy. You know, I call him my white brother. Athletic director at Law High School. It's the Donald Cleveland. You know, one of the, I'll say the best AD in the state of Maryland. Great guy, great friend. I finally got him on here. I tried to get him on earlier, but you know, he's always busy. So, you know, probably placing a bet or on the golf course somewhere. So we're gonna bring him in. I thought I added to the stage. Coach, what's going on?
Hey guys, how's it going?
Good, man. How you doing, man?
I'm doing well. I wish I was playing golf as frequent as Coach thinks I play golf. I'm at Laurel High School way too much, and it takes away from my golfing opportunities.
Where do you normally play?
When I can, not often, and wherever. I wish I could play more often.
What kind of sticks you swinging?
Cleveland's.
Okay, that makes sense. So you got a Cleveland bag too, then?
I don't know what my bag is. It's not a Cleveland.
Oh, come on, Coach. You got to live in the pit.
I know. I should just go all out, right, at this point.
Exactly.
Yeah. Just embrace the name.
Exactly.
And the funny thing is, we've known each other for what now? 15 years, something like that. And I play, and he play, and we ain't never played together. Well, I ain't no good, but I play.
I'm not either. I'm solid, but you know, it's just getting out there is what's the good thing about it.
Yeah, I call it a good way to get rid of some frustration.
Yeah, big time.
And all it takes is one goal shot to make you come back.
Right. 2-3 good shots in a day. That makes it all worth it.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. And that's all I got, about 1 or 2. Hey, but I can say in all the years that I've been playing, I've never hit it into any water hazards. And I ain't never lost a golf ball yet. So
then you're better than you're letting people on, because I've lost my fair share. I've hit it into almost every water hazard. So yeah, you're definitely doing better than I am then.
Yeah, I definitely need to play more
in the water. Because I'm the idiot that there's the safe trip and then there's across the water. I take across the water probably 9 times out of 10.
You got to go for it.
Yeah,
I mean, yeah, you got to go for it. And I've moved to, the red and green and yellow balls because I hit it in the woods so often. I got to go in there and look for them. I need something shiny and bright so I can find it easier.
So I used to hit Mojos because nobody carries the Mojo. Everybody's got all
it
that.
says Mojo on it.
Yes.
Yeah. Yep. All right, well, Coach, man, that was our little golf rant there real quick, but I appreciate you joining us tonight. You are the first athletic director that we've gotten on the show. So we got a whole list of questions for you. Midnight Rider used to coach basketball as well, girls basketball for who's at Ireton and where else?
Yes, I did 3 years or 4 years at Don Bosco in Tacoma Park.
Yep.
As an assistant coach, and then I coached one season, which was crazy. That's a crazy story in its own right. And then I did a season at Bishop Ireton with Mark Wilson and company.
Oh yeah.
Coaching JV girls.
Okay. Yeah.
Yep. Real quick before I go into the questions, our guy Constant from MFV says first time seeing Coach without a hat.
Hey, special occasion, man. I throw the kids off when I show up without a hat on as well. He's definitely never seen me without a hat because he's only at games, and I'm always wearing the hat at games.
Right.
Unless he was shooting the state championship game, I combed my hair during that last year, but it's not often. But special occasion, just for you, Coach.
Hey, I feel privileged. All right, Coach. So go ahead and introduce yourself to everybody who may not know who you are.
Yep. So Don Cleveland, I am, this is my 9th year as athletic director at Laurel High. I always get asked this question, and I believe it's my 18th year at the school. It might be 17th. It's tough to go back that far. It's either 17 or 18 years at Laurel High as a coach. Started off as a softball coach. Then during the time I was the softball coach at Laurel, I took over the JV football program, and then I handed it over to Coach Powell about 12 years ago now.
Yeah, what, 2015, 14, something like that.
Something like that. Yep. And I was coaching, and during the time I was JV and in softball, I got offered the baseball job, and I took that. And then when my first son was going to be born, I had to take one, and I gave up football. And I've been the baseball coach now. This is the 14th season I've been the varsity baseball coach, in addition to being the AD for 9 years. I'm not a Maryland guy. I'm from New York, and I moved down after college, and Laurel was the first place to open their doors to me, and I haven't left. And I think there's a good reason for that, because I have thoroughly enjoyed my time at Laurel and don't plan on leaving.
So how'd you talk about some of your early years, you as maybe an athlete, some of that time? What did you play in high school, and where did you go to school? High school and college?
So I went to high school I'm from Schenectady, New York. Which some people may know because there's a General Electric there. So because it's on the map for that reason. That's actually what brought my family back to New York. My grandfather had moved from Greenville, was in New York originally, moved to Greenville, South Carolina, where my mom and aunts went to school, and then that brought them back. So I went to Mahonison High School. In high school, I played baseball, football, messed around with JV basketball. And that was the end of that. And did a little bit of track here, but football was actually my best sport. Even though, I've coached baseball now for 14 years, football was the best sport as an athlete in school. And then I went to SUNY Cortland in New York to get my degree and to get my teaching license, and then came right here to Prince George's County, Maryland from there.
Cool.
So I think you told me the story before, but didn't you say like PG County came up to New York and did like a
Yeah,
Hind?
so they did their due diligence. So if you're familiar with the SUNY school system in New York, the college SUNY system, they're mainly teacher universities. So they're just churning out teachers. So PG County went up to our job fair, and where we, all the future teacher candidates that were in school at the time bounced around from table to table, speaking with school systems around the country, mainly up in the Northeast, central part of the country. And PG County offered me a position on the spot, something I wasn't really willing to do right then and there on the spot. As a senior 21, 22-year-old, wasn't ready to like pick up and move to Maryland. But I went through the process of trying to find a job in New York, and given that there's so many teacher candidates in New York because there's so many teaching universities, and the pension system being so great, I was not somebody that was going to fumble around and try to find a job for too long. I wanted to get right in there and start working. So when I struggled to find a job right out of college that first summer, I called the contact that I had from that teacher fair. They brought me down. We met at the Sport and Learning Complex, and then he showed me around to a couple schools and said, "Which one do you want to work at?" So that's what got me there. And again, I haven't left. And then I've started my family here, and I love it.
So 18 years in Laurel, like
Yep.
what's the thing that has changed the most to you, from when you got here to where you are now?
So it's tough to really pinpoint what's changed, like, because of my role those first couple of years. I was just a coach. I wasn't somebody that worked in the school. I was somebody that worked for the county, but I would come after school and really only work with my groups. I would support other programs. But if I'm going to speak to what I've seen in the changes in the 9 years that I've been the AD, which I can very clearly describe the changes I've seen in the last 9 years, the participation numbers have skyrocketed, and Coach can attest to this, because I speak all the time about how we've moved from paper, hand in your physicals, and that was the old school way of doing it, to now where we do everything electronically, and that's clear and concise data that's showing that our participation numbers, right before COVID and then right after COVID, have went up exponentially every year. We're now on a 6th consecutive year of the most registrations that we've had in my 9 years. So that's the thing I'm most proud of as well, is just seeing the growth of the program, seeing programs, especially in the female sports, lose JV programs, and we haven't. We have just seeing the trends across the county, seeing people lose JV basketball, JV soccer, and some of these other programs. And we've had some of our best numbers we've ever had this past year. So just seeing the maybe not the changes at Laurel, but seeing how we haven't changed when others have.
Cool. That works.
Got you. So speak on what made you decide, you're coming from coaching. What made you decide to say, okay, athletic director job is open, Coach Ox is gone. Let me try to get this job. What went into your thinking on that part?
To be completely honest, this was the job I always wanted. This is what I wanted to do when I was in high school. So when I was going to college, I was choosing a career path that was going to keep me in sports. First of all, one of my master's degree is in coaching pedagogy, like the theory of coaching. So it was something that I was always passionate about. Sports in general. I mean, Coach knows I'm an encyclopedia of sports, and it's something that ever since I was a little kid, where I was cutting out box scores out of the newspaper and posting them in binders. It's something I always wanted to be a part of sports. And I thought, what better way than to get the opportunity to run a program in a high school. I saw, we all play sports in high school. We saw that person lead our programs when we were in school. And I was like, man, that'd be a really cool job. Cause he would just, he'd drive his tractor around, get to watch all the games, get to support all the kids. And I was like, that is something that I want to do. I had the year prior to me getting the position, I had a opportunity to kind of fill some of those small roles that an AD does when our previous AD was out with an injury that previous year. So I got to work with Mr. Dinkins, who at the time was our assistant principal that oversaw athletics. He became our principal, and he still is our principal. But I got to work with him a lot on some of the stuff that an AD does, and it really piqued my interest. So when that position became available, I went full into it, and I'm glad I got it.
So in my times of coming up to Laurel, one thing that's kind of struck me, it seems like there's a great relationship between you and the assistant principal, or the principal, I should say now. What are the keys to that relationship and making it work so you can get the things you want done with these for the kids?
So I've said it a million times, and I'll say it another million. I have been blessed with the principals that I've been able to work with at Laurel High School, with Coach Jones, Dwayne Jones, and now Principal Dinkins, Michael Dinkins. These are sports guys. These are guys that have put a priority on the benefits and the impact that athletics can have in a school culture. And these two guys were, I mean, Dwayne Jones was a state champ, a player, a coach, an assistant principal, and then principal of Laurel High School. And he valued athletics. And I saw that and wanted to be a part of that. And Mr. Dinkins has taken over and had that same philosophy. I can assume there's buildings. I've only been at Laurel, so I can't pretend to know what other buildings do and prioritize, but I can assume there's buildings that don't prioritize sports, that where principals maybe weren't athletes when they were growing up, and maybe can't see the impact that it can have on the school community, on the student body. But I've been blessed, and I think that's why I've gotten along with both of them so well, because we have a common goal in mind, and we can see the vision on the positive impact that athletes can have and sports as a whole can have on the building.
Yeah, you're right. Having a principal involved that's an athletic person is very important. When I was playing at law, when I was in high school, we had Mr. Kirby, and Mr. Kirby was he was into his athletics hard, like every sport. And we had that support. And then when he stepped down my senior year, we had Miss Janice Mills come in from Bowie High School, and she was the opposite. Like, she could care less. She could give a damn about sports. And, you could see it in the building. And when I graduated, that's when the football program hit its spiral and went down for a while. But, like you said about Jones graduated from Law, went to Howard. He was one of my football coaches when I was there. He was the head basketball coach as well. And then when he stepped down and Dinkins came in, you just had a succession of athletic guys that was in charge. So it makes it a lot easier. And honestly, it's part of the reasons I always wanted to come back and coach at Law, because I graduated from there. But them being there was also one of the reasons why I wanted to come back, because I knew I would have the support in the building as far as athletic goes. So
yeah, it's great that they have the passion for sports that they have, but they've also given me, both of them have kind of not free reign, but just the ability to, kind of run the program as a whole the way I'd like to see it run. But the only thing I'll say though is when I go in to have stuff signed, sign eligibility rosters, if it was another principal that didn't really care, we would just sign the paper and we move on. But every time I go into Mr. Dinkins' office, the same way with Coach Jones, they're signing, and then it turns into an hour conversation because they want to then talk about all of the teams, who's on the team, who's doing what, this, that. I love it, but man, it takes a couple hours every couple days but I love it, and I wouldn't want it any other way.
Well, Jones sends me a text at least once every 2 weeks asking me what's updates, what's going on. And that's why when we had the alumni game, Monty was like, "Are you going to coach the team?" I was like, "Nope, I'm going to ask Jones to do it." And he was right there, with no question asked.
He was threatening that if they didn't win, he wasn't going to do it again. Is that right?
Yeah, he was cussing me out. He was like, like, look,
Thank God they won. He'll be back.
you're right. He said he'll
Yep.
be back. Another question here from Karsten. He said, one thing I've seen in law is the overall unity amongst the sports programs from you and the coaching staff. What did you do to help maintain that unity?
So, first of all, that's very accurate and astute for him to notice that, because that is another one of the things I'm most proud of is everybody supports everybody. You go to a basketball game, you go to a football game, you go to a soccer game, and you see the other coaches there. You see them supporting. There is not this battle for athletes in our building like there are in other buildings. We share our athletes, and that's something that I think is what's really helped our participation numbers is we have so many 3-sport athletes, and we have so many people willing to see the value in their athletes playing something else in their off season. I'm going to make a great example. Coach Powell's quarterback plays on my baseball team. Okay. He is turning himself into a pretty good baseball player, even though he doesn't think he is yet. But he very easily could just do his football stuff during the off season. Okay. And he doesn't do that. And I think that is what we've built here is I think the kids see it as well, that we all get along so well and we all genuinely care about each other's sports, that they want to play for the other coaches in the building. They want to play for the other sports. I think for that to happen is just to, constantly build the relationships, constantly interact with one another. We don't fight over space. We don't fight over kids. And I just love the culture that we've built at Laurel.
Demarius' mom heard you mention
that.
Yeah.
Yes, that's your son I'm talking about.
Yeah.
Hey, and I'm telling you, he's turning into one heck of a. He had 3 hits in the game I missed last week. I told him again today he's going to have to pitch this week because we got 3 games. He's going to have to pitch. So, but he's going to do it.
Yeah, he'll be all right.
He'll be fine.
Hey, Coach, is there anything in your building that you emphasize with your coaches that kind of directive to? Because I do see what the unity amongst the coaches. So is there something that you do? Like, is there some initiative you're working on that you do, or is it just you got great coaches?
We have great coaches. I'll start by saying that. I don't think it's anything that I do personally. I think that we've just been blessed to bring in the right people, bring in the people that these kids genuinely want to play for. Because I didn't reinvent the wheel here when I got this job. There were a lot of good people. We have some of the same people, but I think we've just been blessed to get people that want to be at Laurel and that genuinely care about the kids. And it's just, I think it's a perfect mesh of personalities. Everybody gets along with everybody. And again, we're not battling with each other. We're battling for each other, and everybody is there for the same reason. And that's to see Laurel succeed.
All right, Coach.
Let me ask him. No, let me ask him this question. Go ahead, Midnight. Go ahead.
So during football season, and your coach is at the 20-yard line, what are you thinking?
So, okay. So you're saying he's outside his box. He's not where he's supposed to be?
Oh, that's all the time, but yeah.
Yeah. So I'm going to answer that 2 ways. I don't micromanage them. I try not to. Let me start by saying that. But I'm the worst one out of all of them on the sideline.
Thank you.
I'm the worst one. I am the most competitive, and I'm not exaggerating. I somehow have not gotten a personal foul called against me on the football field. I've earned it though, haven't I, Coach?
Yeah, he's been close. He's been close to being kicked out. So
I have. I started a ride at a basketball game. In support of my athlete, just trying to protect my athlete. Okay. I'll start by saying that I didn't do anything. People got real mad at me at the way I handled the situation, and I didn't handle it well. I've gotten a red card in a soccer game. No, a yellow card in a soccer game, not a red card. But other than that, never been thrown out of a game. But I genuinely let the coaches coach. I'll step in when I need to, and kind of Coach Powell and I I had to calm Coach Powell down one time this year, didn't I, Coach?
Yeah.
Yep.
I was ready to fight. Yep.
Yep. But no, I let the coaches coach. I don't micromanage them. I'm just out there in support. I try to just be out there in support.
Go ahead, Coach.
I'm probably the calmest coach out there, to be honest.
You're still top 5.
Hey, but
I might be 1.
Hey, but the important thing is, I've never gotten a penalty.
Yep.
And I've never been thrown out of a football game. Now, I did get thrown out of a girls' JV basketball game back in, what was that, 2014? No, was that 2014? Something, yeah, maybe 2014. And I mean, it was the last game of the season, so it didn't matter. It didn't matter. But football never been kicked out of a game.
And that was pre you have to miss the next game if you got thrown out. Anyways, so that came along after that.
Yeah, because
I've never been thrown out of a game either. I am very passionate on the sideline. I have given an earful to baseball umpires over the years, but I know exactly where that line is, and I don't cross it.
Cool.
Yeah. See, the referees, when they come, they already know. Like, this guy, he's gonna be on the field. I told you I had one referee begging me. He was like, "Coach, I'm being evaluated. Can you please get to the sideline so I don't get in trouble?" I said, "Okay, I got you, buddy." And then 5 minutes later, I was back at the 20.
It is so hard to be aware of your surroundings when you're coaching. Like, your body wanders and your brain is focused on something, and your brain is not focused on what yard line you're standing on. So it happens.
Now, the beauty of this past year, this is my first year with Coach, and so I came to a bunch of games, and it was just funny watching him, because it's like, yeah, you know when that button's on, he jumping out to the middle of the field, and then you got Coach Mook who's right behind him. So it's just like that's that, Coach. You got a hell of a
Hey, was it 26, 27 of them?
Yeah, it's 20.
Like,
you got them all yelling at unison at the same time sometimes.
Yep.
Yeah.
Couple comments. Let me get to a couple comments. Let's see. Number one super parent, Christy, says amazing coaches. Coach Jaden checking in, says a good chunk of the coaches are also alumni.
And I'm glad that's Jaden, man. Hey, that's another thing, is that it is so great to see. And I'm gonna point out our wrestling program in particular. I mean, they're all alum, to the point, and even where, I mean, we probably have 8 to 10 coaches at Laurel High School that I coached during my time. So it is so great to see them come back to contribute to the school that they went to, and their willingness to, invest their, a lot of volunteer time. These aren't all paid people. These are people that are volunteering their time to help their alma mater. And it's so great to see.
Yep. Coach Imani checking in. She said he feeds us pasta salad, so we work harder for food.
Yeah, I mean, that's the dish I make, and it seems to go over well every time I make it.
Let's see, Carson checking in again, and that is rare in Maryland. Honestly, when I'm at a football game, I've seen the same coaches at lacrosse games. It's amazing.
Yeah, and that's what I mentioned. I'm not exaggerating when I say, I mean, our track coaches come to everything, our lacrosse coaches, our volleyball coaches, and we have coaches that coach multiple sports, but everybody is always supporting everybody. They don't take their off seasons off. They're there in support of their kids that may be playing other sports, and it's so great to see.
Yeah. Jaden checking in again, saying Cleveland running onto a court during the basketball game.
I mentioned that. That.
And Christy saying, "Oh, that was on my comment about me being the calmest coach, because I am, Christy. I'm the calmest one out there. The nicest asshole. You do keep a cool
head, though, Coach. You keep a cool head. You don't get caught up in the moment.
Yeah, I've actually gotten a lot better. Like,
for sure.
20 years ago, I used to be a lot worse. Like,
yeah.
I've chased referees out of Bowie City Gym.
Well, we're not doing that. We're not doing that.
Yeah,
Everything's
I've
recorded now
I've
too, so
gotten a
we can't be
whole
doing
lot
that.
better. Yeah, I've gotten a whole lot better. So getting back to the question. So, all right, you coach as well, and you oversee all of the sports.
Yep.
How do you manage,
Mm.
especially in spring season? How do you
Yep.
manage being a head coach and also being an athletic director?
Yeah, obviously, it's the spring season is the only season that is impacted by. The fall and the winter. If I'm doing baseball stuff, it's off season stuff. It's conditioning, and it is starting and during the winter season, sometimes during the fall season. But I make it work to where I coordinate it with when we have a late game. I'll do conditioning that day. I'm gonna be honest, it's impossible to coordinate. I can't be in two places at the same time, physically or mentally. So I have always I've always felt bad for the spring athletes and for the spring coaches that I don't pay them as much attention as I do the other seasons. It's an impossible job to coach and be an AD, to the point where I don't know that that is something that really should be done, because I am not. There are lacrosse games going on while I'm coaching baseball. There are every single day I'm coaching baseball in a game. Softball is playing a game at the same exact time. I don't get to watch those girls play unless we play on opposite days for a non-league game. Um, our tennis is off site, and I get to see them maybe once a year, maybe twice a year. Track, I guess is lucky that I get to see them in the winters because it's usually the same kids. And their season extends a little longer, so I'm able to see and support them as they hit the regional and state tournaments. But it's impossible to do both with the effectiveness I want to do both. Because I don't feel like I do a great job as an athletic director in the spring because I'm consumed with baseball as well. And it's hard to do both. But I think the way that it works still for us is the people that I have around me, the people that are running the games, my game workers, the people I trust to, work the gate. And kind of run the show when I'm down at baseball. I have all the trust in the world in those people. And that's, Kim Jones, LD Williams, and Marcus Jackson. They work the majority, and Elizabeth Norris, they work the gates for me. I have all the trust in the world in those guys to, kind of hold the fort down while I'm down doing baseball stuff. And also our coaches are so excellent that they don't need me on a day in and day out basis. I hope that I give them what they need to be able to do what they need to do without me there. But the time of doing both is definitely wearing me out a little bit, and it's not going to be a forever thing, unfortunately.
Okay. Being in PG County, what's kind of the challenges in terms of coaching baseball? Do you get turnover? Do you have heavy turnover? How does that work for you?
So I'd say the challenges are the challenges in general for Prince George's County baseball is the lack of the youth programs compared to what they used to be. When I got the job 14 years ago, 15 years ago, however long ago it was, everybody had a JV program, and maybe an occasional team didn't have a JV program. If you look at the Prince George's County 26 high schools, there's 2 JV programs this year. That's it. There's 2 teams with JV teams, 2 schools with JV teams, excuse me. So that's the biggest challenge. And I think a lot of it is to do with, the boys, a lot of the boys and girls clubs have lost their programs or have stopped offering their programs. But we're lucky. Again, I've mentioned a lot of times about how Laurel is lucky. Laurel's youth programs are still up and active and running. And I think that's what has helped our program immensely. I am not fitting kids for gloves the first day of tryouts like some schools are, where kids are swearing up and down they need to put a glove on their right hand when they throw with their right hand. You would think you wouldn't have to do that at a high school baseball tryout, but you do have to do that at a high school baseball tryout sometimes. But I get kids that have played, and I think that Roosevelt and Bowie have had strong programs for those same reasons.
Mm-hmm.
Now we've had a lot of turnover in the last couple of years. We've had some really good teams. So this is a very young team. Last year was a very young team. But the numbers are still there. The amount of kids that are willing to come and play baseball are still there. They're less than they were. But this year we have a handful of JV baseball games, as does Roosevelt, and we're the only two teams that are going to be playing JV baseball this year. So I'd say that's definitely the biggest challenge, is just the lack of emphasis of it at the youth level compared to what it used to be.
Mm-hmm. So keeping on that same topic, we're talking about the participation in the county. In general, overall, not just baseball, but all sports, what have you seen change in the county from when you first stepped into the scene? As far as, because we have this conversation a lot about football, and me and you talk about this as well all the time too. Is the schools on the northern half of the county, especially with football numbers, and now we're starting to see it on soccer and other sports. But what have you seen change the most? What do you think was the biggest impact to that?
I honestly, I don't. The numbers have dropped significantly after COVID. I don't know if COVID is the reason for it. I think maybe people took a break playing sports for a year or two and maybe didn't come back to it. But yeah, I kind of go back to where I don't know. And again, I'm not from here. I don't know how rampant the youth leagues were compared to what they are now. But yeah, since COVID, it's been kind of alarming seeing the way some of the programs' numbers have diminished across the county, across sports too. But it's been especially noticeable in the female sports over the last couple of years, in that, again, the thought of a school in Prince George's County, Maryland, not having JV boys or girls basketball was wild, right? And now there are like less than half of the schools had JV girls basketball this past year. So it's really eye-opening to see the sport that maybe we're most known for as a county, seeing those numbers drop. And I don't know if I have a great explanation for it. I know that, again, we're very lucky where we are, I think, in that we have such a program that the kids, want to be a part of, that we had a higher number of JV girls basketball players than we have in my 9 years. We had our largest roster total this year. But I know that's not across the board. I don't know if I really have a great answer as to why.
Oh, okay. Go ahead, Coach. You've got another one.
So, speaking, we still talking county-wide here. Football, we have a lot of football guests on here, and, we talk about the northern half of the county and the big change in the demographic, of course. A lot of Hispanic families are moving in or have moved in. Yep. And, they know soccer. They don't know a lot of the other sports.
Right.
You get a few that play. And I don't know, I know we have a new school being built in the next whatever amount of years that's coming
Yeah,
up.
who knows? Yeah.
And do you think that, and saying all of that, with the new school coming, do you think that the budget issues that we're having right now in the county is has an impact on what's going on in sports right now? Because it seems like maybe the resources aren't available like they used to be.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know how much of an impact that really has. I mean, our operating budgets for an athletic program hasn't changed. Now, that being said, I think it's definitely on the table for that to be lowered or be impacted next year, from what we've at least had briefed to us. I don't know about, and with the new school coming, adding another school, adding another anytime you add a high school, you're multiplying everything by an extra number now. But yeah, the demographics have changed drastically. I mean, again, I've been at Laurel for 18 years. Coach, you went to Laurel. You've been at Laurel forever. Yeah, it's definitely changed drastically. But you know, I have a team full of baseball. Well, not full of, but I didn't have a Spanish speaking player in my first 12 years, really. To where I have half of my team that speaks Spanish now, and I don't know what they're saying half the time when they're on the field. But I think that with that, it's just, it might be, you know, I know football is obviously a sport that would be impacted because it's the same. I mean, we get 70, 80, 90, 100 kids at soccer tryouts now. I'm not sure that was always the case at Laurel.
No, it wasn't.
But I think that there's, you know, with that being said, that's 40, 50, 60 kids that are going to get cut from soccer, that are going to be looking for something to do. And I think we just have to make everything appealing to everybody at the school, regardless of the demographic. You know, football can be an attractive sport for anybody, really. And I think that, you know, that's the work of us as coaches, me as the athletic director, and, you know, getting everybody interested in what we have to offer, and, you know, show them opportunities that they may not have anticipated that they would take when they got to high school. I mean, we've had a couple of Hispanic football players, and I think they've really taken to the sport.
Yeah. Coach Imani checked in and said parent participation and engagement has changed. Not as much interest in putting your kids in sports or supporting athletics anymore, it seems, in general, not necessarily at Laurel.
Yo, no, that's definitely, you know, I grew up in a area, and I'm sure Laurel and Prince George's County was the same. Like when I was at the thought that a kid's parents wouldn't be at a senior game was just not an option, right?
Yeah.
And we see it all the time now. So yeah, the dedication that playing a high school sport takes from everybody, all stakeholders, isn't always supported by the parents. When, you know, the some of these young people are being asked to work, they're being asked to watch their younger siblings, they're being asked to come home after school for this, that, or the other reason. Kids missing baseball practice because they have to get a haircut. And I know we've all had that. Yeah, Coach Imani nailed it. It's just the commitment from everybody, parents, kids, isn't maybe what it used to be.
Gotcha.
When it comes to like scheduling events and games, is there a template that you work off of, or like how do you make it work where you're scheduling football? You know what football is doing, you know what soccer's doing, you know.
So we work off a master schedule. So again, to give you guys a little peek, I mean, Coach knows how this works. So with all sports, we have a master league schedule. It's kind of created for us. It's a 2-year cycle. Each sport gets a 2-year cycle of a master schedule. And then we get the flexibility, depending on the sport, to schedule additional games. So football is a good example, since Coach is in here. Football, they as of the past couple years, since we've moved to everybody making the playoffs, are given 8 games. And we're given a week 1 bye, where we get to, not a bye, a week 1 open date, where we get to, you know, reach out to anybody that is a approved team from the MPSSAA to play in week 1. So we're in year 2 of that schedule. So next year, if everything stays the same, Coach has the opportunity to pick his week 1 opponent if the other school agrees. Basketball is given 15 league games. They're able to schedule 5 in addition. Soccer is given 10 league games, 2 in addition. Volleyball is given 12, 3 in addition. So what I do is I get them all locked into a program that we have called Activate, which is just where we punch in our league schedule. And then I sit there and look at the calendar, and I start reaching out to schools. Sometimes the coaches are very involved in that process. Like, I don't care who football plays week 1. That's Coach's decision, right?
Right.
But then there's other sports like boys basketball. Coach Hines, he wants my help in finding the 5 additional opponents. But I'll sit there and I'll look. And one thing that I ensure that I do is I try my best to even the home and the aways. So if the boys have 10 home games, the girls have to have 10 home games. If the boys soccer has 6 home games, the girls have to have 6 home games. But it's a matter of, laying it all out there and seeing, what other schools in the state, in our county, because we're always willing to play anybody, fits our schedule best and who has common open dates. So, and then, we set up 2-year deals with schools where we'll play them there, and then they'll return the favor and come to Laurel the next year. That's one of the most fun parts about this job is scheduling the non-league stuff, getting an opportunity to bring in some schools from outside of our county to Laurel, and vice versa, to allow our kids to travel a little bit to see some of the schools outside of our county.
I always thought the best part of your job was working with your favorite coach, me. I thought that was the best part of your job.
That's definitely in the top 12. Definitely in the top 12. Yeah, without a doubt. You make the top 12, Coach. That's good.
I appreciate it. I appreciate it. At least I'm on the list somewhere.
You are.
Let's see. Coach Craig checking in. Midnight is another UNC fan.
Yeah, he's a good man. He's a good man.
No, he's not. No, he's not. He said, "What's crazy is crossing to Howard County. Lacrosse, baseball, football, basketball, and soccer is huge. The crowds are enormous at the high school level. The difference between Howard County and PG is huge." And Coach Craig lives in Howard County now, and he used to coach at Atherton. But he's a Law High School graduate. Grew up in Law, so he's seeing both sides of it.
Can I ask a question?
I live in Howard County as well. I messed around and went to a couple of the games in the playoffs for the school that we're eventually going to be district to when my boys are in high school. And they get bigger crowds than we do, and I think a lot of that is a testament to the parent support, possibly. Does Laurel High School have the best school spirit as a whole? It's definitely something that I think we've improved upon, but it's probably still not where we want it to be. And you kind of have to figure out a way for some of our non-football and non-basketball home games to be well attended. Because Coach Craig nailed it. Like you go outside the county, you go to lacrosse, soccer, some of the non-football basketball games. We do well at those games attendance wise, but the goal is to get support for all of our programs. It was great to see the turnout we had at our track meet this weekend, where we sold a couple tickets under 1,000 this weekend at the track meet. So, that's a sport where I saw the support the way I'd like everyone to be supported this weekend. But Howard County, and Anne Arundel County, but that's why I like scheduling them in the non-league, because they come over and they spend a lot of money in concessions because they bring a good crowd. Right. So that goes back to one of my favorite parts is scheduling some teams outside of our county to come play us. Because they're going to bring a crowd.
Love that. Question I was going to ask you is, because this area has expanded while becoming smaller at the same time because of communication, when it comes to these all league teams, do you feel like the public schools actually get a disservice done to them because they aren't in Howard County, because they aren't in Baltimore, because they aren't the WCAC, because they aren't these other places?
You asked that question already knowing what my answer was going to be. I do not think that we're given a fair chance especially the private schools. No, I don't. I say in 9 years, we've had a lot of great athletes. We've had individual state champions. We've had really, really great athletes, and we have had 2 all Met
Mm-hmm.
in the 9 years I've been at Laurel. If
Mhm.
you look at those lists, I mean, I get it, but in the same sense, there are a lot of excellent athletes in this county that I do not think get a fair chance through that process. And I don't know that any public school person would disagree with that. I
No,
don't know what the reason is, but I don't think anybody would disagree with that.
no, I actually just got that perspective. Just sitting here every Monday with Coach and just coming out to events with you guys. I mean, it's just amazing how, all of a sudden a place like Meade is, available for all Met. And it's like, are they within the boundaries? So that's the part that throws me off a little bit. And there's some other schools involved in the mix. And it's just like, they're schools that get some love that maybe we got to narrow down the spectrum a little bit. So we start still acknowledging the kids in a certain way, or we break it down better in county wise. That's all.
Yeah, I do love what the direction the counties went in doing, all county nominations, because that was not always a thing, right, Coach?
Right.
That's something
Yeah.
that's came along in the last couple of years.
Well,
Because
it was a thing, but it went away for a little bit, and then it came back. So yeah.
no, I love that we do that now, and I think it it kind of maybe bridges that gap, gives the kids the shine that they deserve. But I will say, I'm not going to talk all Met and not talk about how like it's so unfathomable that we would get a football player on the all Met. So when we had Amari make all Met 3 years ago, that was like, okay, well, maybe they will pay attention to us if we give them reason to. So that's kind of the counter argument, is that, we did get somebody to make it. But it's not something that we expect on a year-to-year basis.
Okay.
Well,
I appreciate
the people, I don't care what I say, because I don't care what people think.
I'm trying to be politically correct.
The people, well, I'm not. The people that did all Met in the past, don't know if it's going to continue since the Washington Post Sports is done or whatever.
Right.
But the people that did it, most of them never came out to watch anybody play. It was all political. It was all, they were front runners.
Yeah,
whoever was winning, and that's all it was. It was never.
And they do their due diligence. I suppose preseason wise, they do send out a lot of requests, and I get them all and I forward them to the coaches, and it's like, fill out your preseason stuff. And I'm sorry, my one kid just got home with his new travel uniform. He wants me to see it. That's nice. Good job. All right, go upstairs.
Yeah, Tyler.
Yeah, he got his travel uniform, his new one for this spring for baseball.
Nice.
So they send out a lot of stuff, but I don't know. Besides state championship games, I don't think they're coming to regular season games in public school. I really don't think they are. And I don't. Are they NFHS subscribers and watching all these games and seeing? No. I don't know.
Nope.
I think what's on the front of your jersey is what matters sometimes.
Yeah. Okay.
Yep. Question from the comments. Kirsten, what is the biggest fire you've had to put out as an AD, if you can say?
I would say,
and it
in
didn't
general,
involve Coach Powell.
What's that?
I said it didn't involve me. So
no, never, Coach, never.
The
biggest fires are always with parents, because you have parents that everyone's kid is an all-pro. We know that, right? So you have parents with maybe some unrealistic expectations as the season starts, like, where their kid should be, how much playing time their kid should get. I'd say just in general, the biggest fires are always just trying to get everybody on the same page, trying to get an irate parent unirate. And those are always the most difficult things, because you can, sometimes a parent, an athlete, and a coach are never going to see eye to eye. no matter how many times you try to make it work between the three of them, sometimes it's just a relationship that is not fixable. But you have to try your best. And you have to try to get everybody in the room to see the greater picture. And that's why we are here in high school athletics. And it's to all the reasons we do sports in high school. So definitely parents, are usually centered around the biggest fires to put out.
Okay, question for you. How excited were you when girls flag football was introduced into the county?
I was ecstatic, and let me tell you, we're into what is it? We're in April now, and those games were the most fun I've had this year. It was because everyone was so enthusiastic, everyone was so excited to get it started, and our team didn't do very well. But man, when they would score a touchdown, it was like it was just such a great thing to watch. It was the question I got more the last 3 or 4 years than any other question is when are we gonna add flag football? When are we gonna add flag football? I was talking to a couple of alumni at the track meet on Saturday. Actually, a couple of our former female track runners. They were here, 8 to 10 years ago, talking about, man, if we had flag football when we were there, this, that, it's just so great. It was such a fun sport. It was such a quick sport. The games were so fast. As an AD, I loved that part. They were super competitive because everyone was new to it. And it's something that I think has so much room to grow and really, really be popular. Because it's the fastest growing sport in the country right now, and I think there's a reason for that. Is because it's fun and it's exciting in the rules in which they play it. It's really a fun watch.
Yeah, it's almost getting you back to street football without taking you back to street football.
Yeah, it's so simple in its form, but it's still football, so it's awesome. And the girls were, they were getting the hang of it as the season went. There were a lot of opportunity. There's a lot of camp opportunity. It's so prevalent right now in the area. You have the Commanders, the Ravens, UMD. You have all these people offering all these free clinics and stuff. And hopefully these girls in this area are taking advantage of it. Because it seems like there's endless opportunities right now for it.
Well, there's a league-wide mandate from the Ravens and the Commanders for them to have these programs, as part also because it's also partly why you got that Fanatics game that was supposed to be in Saudi Arabia, but it happened here. It's because the NFL knows they can't expand anymore but internationally. So the only way you can expand internationally is by adding in this flag version and getting people in places where you don't have the pads or the ability to get pads. All you need is a football and a set of flags, and you can play flag football anywhere.
Yeah, you need like 2 spots to mark the yard. I mean, it's so simple in its form. Like you're right. It's definitely a significantly cheaper way of playing the sport.
Now, question is, and you may not know the answer to this, but are you guys playing 5 or 7 when it comes to players on the field?
7.
Okay.
That was all the way in the fall. I've watched 400.
Yeah, it's
I think it was 7-on-7, right? Or 6-on-7. 5.
All right.
7.
Something.
No, because the international. Only reason I asked is because the international was 5-on-5.
Yeah, I think it was. It was definitely not 5-on-5.
Okay.
No, it was 7. It was 7.
Yeah. There was definitely more than 5 girls on at a time.
Yeah. And look,
that was one though that it took me all 8 games to finally wrap my head around the rules, because it was, it just when you grow up, and I'm 41 now, watching football for 40 years, and now you're throwing some different rules at me. Took me a minute.
No, I get it, because I used to tell people all the time there's a difference. And like leading up to this event, I kept telling anybody that would listen to me, like, there's going to be a difference, and the NFL players aren't going to be able to adjust right away. It's going to be a culture shock.
And we saw that, right?
Yeah. I believed in Doucette the whole time. I was like, yeah, Doucette knows what he's talking about. So I could see it happening, and I saw it happen. So,
Yep.
proof is in the pudding. But we'll see how that plays out.
Yeah.
So we've hit our hour, but I still got some more questions. So
No, you're good, man.
The boss man, he'll yell at me in a little
I
bit.
talk a lot too. I apologize. My answers are probably drawn out.
I
I've
told
been
that to
accused of
Midnight
that
Rider
many times.
So
I tell people all the time, I'll take the talker every day over the person that says 2 words and then stops and just looks at you and nods his head.
Well, that's not me.
Yeah.
Sometimes, hey, when it comes to the award show at the end of the year, I bet you everyone wishes I talked a little bit less, so we weren't there for 3 hours.
Didn't I say that? Didn't I say that, Midnight Rider?
Your AD.
I mean, look, me, Marcus, and Cleveland talk all day long. Like we're texting all day long. We probably talk to each other more than we talk to our wives, to be honest. Because it's constant communication, and then most times it's not even always about Laurel High School. So
no, it's no.
Marcus got a good question in the comments if you didn't see it.
Yeah, well, I saw that one, but I was gonna lead into, explain how excited you were during that state championship run last year for basketball, because that was an exciting year. So how did you feel about that?
Let me start by saying that it was an exciting year. Basketball, obviously a team winning a team sport state championship was great, but we had an individual female state champion wrestler, and then we had our girls relay team win a state championship in outdoor. So it was, and I made the comment, and I went back in the years of Laurel, history, and we had I think the number was 19 state champions when you add them all together, the 15 boys, the wrestler, and I think it was 20 actually. State championships state champions at Laurel last year, and that was and when you were talking about seniors, you're talking about that was maybe one of the more decorated classes of Laurel High School ever last year. That class of 2025. So it was an exciting year. I'm not sure because I didn't get into this job stressing for state champions, because that would have been malpractice, because it's not something that you can expect to have happen. It's something you really wish will, if you build the right type of program. And I'm not sure that when I first started at Laurel, I ever saw that maybe happening. So it was it was very exciting. I kept my composure at that game. I didn't bawl like a baby like I thought I was going to when we won the game, but I think that was a product of how badly we beat Whitman. If it was a close game and we pulled it out at the end, I probably would have weeped. But since we, handled them from the start, I think I kind of was able to keep my composure. But it was that year is going to be tough to follow. That it's going to be tough to match that year last year that we had.
Go ahead, Midnight. Yeah, I think you're muted. Midnight, you're muted.
The mute monster. Yeah, I said something real great just now. You missed it. I'm just gonna tell you, you would have liked what I said when I said what I was talking about. But no, seriously. The question I want to ask you is, you have a great support staff in terms of when people work your events. Your people are very good. They're very professional. They're outstanding. I will take my cheeseburger. Every game I come to, it's a cheeseburger and a Sprite, and I'm good to go. But the question I want to ask you is, the parents seem so involved, and I know you had a parent that wasn't. Her kid graduated last year, and she took an additional year. She might be petitioning, MSAA for another year. So, what does that come from? Like, why do parents buy in to your program as much as the kids do?
I don't know. I think that, their upbringing around sports being different, their priorities at home being different. We have a lot of families of foreign descent, and maybe sports is just not a priority inside their homes.
Right.
And I think that's the primary reason, because we often see some parents that just again they take their willingness to allow their kid to come to everything every day is just not there. But the parents that we do have to support, we have a great group of parents. Overall, we have parents that support concessions. We have our parents that help out with our boosters.
Yep.
And we wouldn't trade those parents for anything. But we just wish there were more of them. We wish that there were more of them to help support that. Because we would be so much better off if everybody was coming to everything.
No, yeah, but you have a great group, so I hope
we do. And I just wish it was like multiplied.
Right.
To kind of to take some stress off them, like having to do everything at every game. Like we have, I'm thinking about all the parents that we have that help out with things and that donate their time and donate snacks and drinks. And it's the same parents all the time. We love them, but I just wish they had some help sometimes.
I always tell people sometimes when you have smaller numbers, you know what you get in terms of dedication. Like you're not going to turn around and look and figure out who's this person or why isn't this person here, because they believe in the Spartan way just as much as you do. And I never forget, I used to get there sometimes because I worked probably 10 or 15 minutes from Laurel, so I'd leave work early on time and then get there, but I'd be there so much earlier than game time. And I just watched those ladies prepare, and I just thought it was special. So I want to give them their flowers. Your concession stand ladies, especially at football, but even at the wrestling event, they were amazing. They're my favorite.
So I remember the days before they came around and the struggle it was to run a concession stand. I mean, Coach, you remember when you were JV football?
Yep.
I was going to Sam's Club myself and buying all the supplies for the concession stand. That is not one of my job responsibilities. But the alternative was we had a football game with no concessions being sold, and that's not. And there were weeks where that was the case. So this group of parents we have right now, I mean, again, I said I wouldn't trade them. I just wish they had some help. But you're right, though, in that the continuity in the small group, like everybody knows how we do things. And sometimes when you're reliant on a whole group or like you're taking shift, you have parents taking shifts doing this game, you're doing that game. It won't be that consistent, welcoming environment that we have now, because you'll see different faces every time.
Totally agree.
Yep.
And let me tell you this. I tell them all the time, I love them to death. They drive me crazy.
Yeah.
They drive me crazy. But they just want the world. They want everything to be right and perfect, and they don't play. But they I love them to death because they're dependable, they're reliable. You can always count on them. They don't even have kids there,
I know, and that's the best part is that
Mary Smile, of course, the Mary Smile.
Well, yeah, she's gonna be around for a minute though too, because we got another one coming through. But
exactly.
Yeah, it's just to see people again, seeing our volunteer coaches that were alums, seeing the people that are working concessions that don't even have kids that go to the school anymore. It's incredible, and it's just such that's definitely one of the perks is to see the care of the program in the community.
Yeah, y'all got fish on the menu. You got cheese fries. You got chili fries. I mean, the menu is amazing. I'm just glad I don't eat as much as I used to. Because I'd probably be 305 messing with y'all during football season.
I can't eat on the job because I'm too stressed out. Right. I wish I could because everything looks and smells so great every time. I'm afraid I might. I'm too stressed. at these games. I don't know why. It's just the way I'm wired, I guess. But
Yeah, that's the way you wired.
it's the way I'm wired. Yeah.
It's funny. I ain't gonna say no names, but you know, all of the coaches know, how close we are. So you should see them doing events, and they see you walking around, and they always come up to me. What's going on with Cleveland? Man? Look, it's game day. Just let them go.
I'm good. I'm good. I
Day,
can't.
you know?
Do you,
Yeah.
Coach? I told you how I took 45,000 steps at that track meet on Saturday. No reason
Crazy.
other than that I just pace all day, and I want everything to go well, and I feel like if I move around, that'll help. But I don't know if it does or doesn't.
That's your thing. So you good.
It's just my thing. Yep.
Another thing I want to give y'all props to, before we move on, because I know Coach want to close us out soon. Your choir, and this stood out to me because there was a random post, and I'm looking, and I'm like, I know this guy, and of course, once I realized who it is, it's the leader of your choir. I forgot what I was looking at. That doesn't matter, but the fact that I just noticed him stood out to me. That might mean I spend too much time with y'all at the home of the 300, but it's just like I think y'all do a lot of good things, man. And I want to commend you because you're always in the middle of it. You're not forceful, like you don't make yourself known, but you make yourself known because you're always present. And I don't know if your coach, I think your coaches will tell you this, but I think as a fan, I appreciate the way you handle your business.
I appreciate that. And that's kind of like, I'm not the star of any show. The kids and the coaches are the stars of the show. Again, my goal on game day, my goal in general is just to make sure people know that I'm there and know that I'm in support of what's happening at the school.
Cool.
But they're the stars of the show, and they deserve to be.
So that's probably one of the reasons why we get along so well is we're both anal to the point where, because we want things to run perfect, right? And, I can say on game days, especially now since I've taken over varsity, when I was JV coach, Cleveland got on my damn nerves because, but he knew that he wanted things to run a certain way. I wanted things to run a certain way. And at the time, Coach Mayo wasn't that type of person. He's just worried about the X's and O's. He didn't care about how games set up, all that stuff, the theatrics. He didn't care about any of that stuff. So since I've taken over as the varsity coach, I hope that Cleveland feels like he doesn't have to work as hard because
I 100%
about the same things that he's worried about. I just want everything to run smooth and look good.
I 100% feel that, Coach, and that I feel that way because it's been night and day. The preparedness of the football program to participate in a football game is there when it wasn't always there, and a lot of it did kind of maybe fall on me and the people I had working the game to try to get that stuff ready. And Coach, when you're the JV coach and Coach Jackson is now in that role, I task them, and I am maybe a little mean sometimes on getting them to help on game days for varsity games. I know that's kind of what you were referencing, right? Yeah. I know. I'm very self-aware, Coach. I'm very self-aware.
Yep.
I just want everything to go well. That's it. I just want everything to run smooth so that the parents can come cheer on their kids, the kids can play, and the coaches can coach. And I want everything else to not be a burden to them. I just want the game to go.
Let me get to a couple more comments. Then I got another question I want to ask you before we let you go. Let's see. Coach James said, need Cleveland to figure out a way to return the band to football and basketball games.
Yeah. So, our Laurel over the last couple of years, we don't have a functioning marching band. And that's more of a product of the performing arts department. But what we have had is we have had the drum line at football games. We've had the drum line at basketball games. I mean, the drum line was at a good amount of the basketball games. And every football game, if I'm not mistaken, right, Coach?
Sounds right.
They were
they may have been. You know, once
most
I
if not
I get
most
locked
the
in
majority
during
of
the game. So
them.
yeah,
And that might be another like greater in the smaller number type thing, because our drum line, I think they're really good.
yeah,
And I
they are.
think they captivate the audience when they start going. But obviously it's a different feel when you have the whole marching band out there. Hey, Coach, correct me. How long has it been since we've really had a marching band out there?
It's been a while.
Yeah,
Yeah,
that's what I'm saying. It's just not maybe something that's in
yeah.
the cards right now. I'm sure it's something the performing arts program is striving for. I
Hmm.
think that's maybe again one of those things that has just changed in our demographic, in our county, in our school, is that it maybe there, because that's a willingness to participate in band over the summer, and that willingness by the student body may not be there right now. So I don't think it's anything like, hey, let's start a marching band. If it was that
Right,
easy, we'd do it.
right. Coach Mook checking in. What's up, Coach Cleveland?
Hey,
Coach Wicks responding to the concession ladies, talking about they do an excellent job.
they do.
Coach Mook saying Cleveland is the GOAT. Coach Imani saying best AD hands down, an even better friend. And Christy checking in, agreeing with Coach Imani saying yes, he is.
Well, I obviously appreciate all that.
Real quick before I get to my question, dealing with the coaches association, and I'm always communicating with other coaches. Like, there's not too many ADs out there in our county. I'm gonna stay into our county. I'm not gonna talk about the state because I'm not sure. But in our county, that's involved and I'll say well liked by all the coaches like you. Some coaches have made comments like they've even asked me like, "How do you and your AD get along?" I'm like, "Great. I ain't got no problems with him. He lets me do anything I want to do as long as I don't get him in trouble." So,
Correct.
and they're like, some of these coaches were like, my AD doesn't even talk to me. Like, I don't even talk to my AD. So, which I don't understand.
Yeah, and again, I think that's one of the things we talked about very early on tonight, is that that's not the environment we have. Like,
Mhm.
I'm not gonna I'm gonna probably over talk with you, but I think that's what we want, right? We don't want a
Right.
principal not caring about sports. We don't want an AD not talking to their coaches. We want everyone to communicate and communicate effectively.
And that's probably one of the issues why we have, across the board, issues with rosters and stuff, because like I've had a conversation with another coach, not gonna mention his name, and I'm like, look, my AD checks our rosters left and right. Like,
Yeah,
even if I wanted to try to cheat, and I don't cheat
couldn't.
because I don't believe in it, like
Right,
I wouldn't be able to get it past my AD because he's involved. He knows what's going on. He knows the kids that's registered. He knows all the athletes that play. Like, and if there's somebody that he's haven't heard of their name, like he's like, you're gonna come call me. Like, who is this kid? Where he come from, or
right.
whatever. So I think that's what we need more across the county is these athletic directors actually doing their job. Not saying they're not doing their job, but really doing their jobs, and a lot of this stuff wouldn't happen.
Yeah, I agree, and again, that's one of the priorities I took when I got this job. Is when I walk by a kid that is an athlete at our school in the program in which I am, the head of, whatever, however you want to put it. When I walk by that kid in the school, I want to call them by their first name. And I make sure that I do that every time. So I make it a priority to learn every single kid's name. It's hard sometimes, and I'm not there, and I got to get it back from the kid. The kid got to look up when they walk by me so I can make eye contact and greet the kid. But I think that's such an easy thing to do, is just to learn everyone's name and just kind of know who's out there. And if I'm watching a game and I can, where's so and so? Like, those are
Mm-hmm.
easy things to do.
Yeah. So my last question before I let you get out of here, and I know
Uh-huh.
we're getting close to game time, which I don't care about.
You're not gonna watch, Coach?
No, I'm not watching that
Oh,
shit.
okay.
No.
Hey, Coach. I'm sorry, Coach Cleveland. Like when your team like loses in a heartbreaking fashion, do you just shut down because your team lost? Is or do you like continue to watch the sport because you love the sport?
That's a great question. That's really out of left field. I'm not sure why you're asking that.
Yeah.
No,
Mhm.
I, for the love of the sport, man, I'll keep watching.
Okay. Just
Mm.
checking. Thank you. Thank you
Yep.
for that.
So, like I've said, I've never hidden from saying this statement. I am the biggest sore loser you will ever meet. Okay, I'm a sore loser.
Hey, but look, in your defense, that was a heartbreaking loss.
Yeah, it
I
was
might take a
heartbreaking.
day or so off. I'd still watch tonight, but
Nah, no, I don't care about either one of them. As long as Michigan wins, I'm good to go because I can't stand Danny Hurley. So
oh, I'm with you there.
yeah,
I'm with you there.
um, that was a terrible question. Also, Midnight Rider, appreciate that one.
Hey,
Okay.
I'm just trying to rack them up. You can't be perfect all the time.
All right, my last question, which is more important than what you just brought up. Over the years, you know, Law High School struggled, uh, athletically. We weren't looked as a big part of PG County athletics for a long stretch of time. And one of the biggest complaints you always heard was Law doesn't put athletes into college. Um, so in the last couple of years, that trend has been changing a lot.
Yep.
And I know last year we had a probably was a record number of athletes that signed on to college last year. So can you speak on that? And I think we're starting to trend towards another good year as well. I
No
know
doubt.
football
Yeah.
wise, we have 6 kids
Yeah.
this year, football wise, that have signed or about to sign soon, and other sports are starting to grow as well. So speak on that before we let you go.
Yeah, that's been shoot. I can remember the first couple years that I was the AD. We didn't have a signing day. There was nobody to recognize. And over time, I remember doing the first signing day with what was it, Jaheim and Eric.
Yep.
Was that like 2018, 2018 maybe
No, that's
17,
20,
18?
20.
Yeah, something. Yeah. And then
Mhm,
every year it's exponentially grown.
mhm,
It's so great. Like last year, like it was almost 20 kids. And they're all playing at the next level and they're all contributing at the next level. And it's so great to see. And this year again, it looks like we're trending to double digits again this year
mhm,
to sign and play in college. Um, but again, that is the it's the coaches. It's the coaches that are that we have in place now are better preparing these kids for the next level. They're perfectly balancing trying to get the most out of them at high school to produce a winning program, and then also prepare them for the next level, and to prepare them how to have those conversations with the college coaches themselves, and how to um, get the conversation started with the colleges. Coach comes up when a college wants to visit. We pull the boys out of class. We get them sitting in front. That wasn't always happening, and it is now. Um, and these kids may have no interest in going to that school, but those conversations are invaluable. Like, even if they don't plan on going to school, you have these conversations with the colleges. And I think our kids are a little bit more self-aware now than they used to be. Like, they're more willing to play at the college that wants them versus where they think they should be. Because that's the
mhm,
most important decision for the kid, is going somewhere where they want you. You got to get
mhm,
past what division it is. You got to get
mhm.
past the name of the school. If you want to play at the collegiate level, you go to where they want you. Go
Right.
to where they're going to financially support you, and then trust in yourself. Get to that place, and it's easier than ever to transfer. Okay, if that doesn't end up being the place for you long term, the opportunities are seemingly endless at this point. So, I think it's a combination of all those things.
Yep.
So I'm gonna give you a compliment because and this is for you and Powell, because when you just said that statement, go to where you are wanted. I can't tell you how many times I've heard this man on this show tell kids when we've had the recruiter from Howard and we've had other people on say the same exact thing. And I have this firm belief system, and I tell people all the time, like when we talk draft and we talk other sports, I tell people all the time, sometimes you got to dial them across your beliefs. And what I hear now is just you guys having the same belief system, and that's what you're willing to stamp your program with. So that's another tip of the cap, yo. I can't give you no more. I can't give no more. I can't give no more.
No, I appreciate it. We all want what's best for these kids, man, and like they got to see that what's best for them is to go somewhere where they can thrive and where that wants them.
No, that's perfect, man. I thought I heard him talking when you were saying it. Like he's
heard me say it enough, or vice versa.
Right.
A couple more comments before we get out of here. Let's see where we at. Coach Mook said Cleveland be just as turned up as we do.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, I'm telling you, like Midnight, you think I'm bad. I'm telling you, when your athletic director is threatened at least every other game to get kicked out of the game, then you know it's bad.
Yeah. I'm not. It's not hyperbole, man. I am the worst person on the sideline. Not always in defiance of the ref or the umpire or the official. It's just I care. I'm passionate, and I just want the kids to do well, and I want them to have a fair chance at doing well.
No, that's the best part about it, man.
Yep.
Coach Marcus says part of the growth in our wrestling program comes from Cleveland honestly pushing it.
That's an easy sell, man. We got good coaches. That's an easy sell.
Coach Craig checking in again. Coach D shuts down completely. Coach Marcus said yes. And Craig says we had to put an APB out on him. Yeah, I didn't respond to nobody's messages for a whole day. I'm seeing them come through on the group chat, and I'm like, I'm not even saying nothing to you assholes right now. And Coach Marcus says,
Marcus.
Ask Coach Cleveland what happens when Clemson loses.
The same. I will watch next week, though, the following week. That's football. That's different, though. Yeah.
Are you a football Clemson guy or all-around Clemson guy?
All around. My mom went there. My mom was a graduate in their first national championship, 1980. 81.
Okay.
Yep. Okay. So we're big Clemson people.
Coach Wick saying sometimes we have to pull him back off the referees. He's talking about you, Cleveland. He's not talking about me.
Oh, I know. Yeah. No, I don't. I'm not like that.
Coach, you do know games last year, right?
Say what now?
But you know what? He was sitting way up top of the bleachers, so he ain't really get to see. You know, your view was obstructed.
Again,
I sat at the 40-yard line, second row. Every time. I don't know what we talking about here.
Again, guys, if this is the line right here, I go to there. I know where it is, and I ain't gonna cross it.
No, we're not talking about you. I'm talking about him.
Oh, yeah.
The boss is checking in. BJ, who the head of the Sideline Junkies podcast network. He said, "Great interview."
I appreciate that.
And then Coach Mook is saying more like 2 weeks that I disappear. Well, it's all right. Whatever. All right, Coach. Well, look, we could probably go on for another hour.
Probably.
Easily.
And I already went over time, but I appreciate you taking time. You know, if I don't tell you enough, I appreciate everything you do for the school and for athletics.
Feelings mutual, Coach. Feelings mutual.
You make our jobs easy, and I don't take that for granted. And like I said earlier, you know, you let me do my thing. Like as long as I don't get you in trouble or the school in trouble or myself in trouble, you let me do my thing. And, you know, the respect is there that, first of all, I don't want to do anything wrong anyway, because I'm not that type of person. Right. But I would never do anything to put you in jeopardy of being in trouble as well, because it's just that much of a respect level between us. So I appreciate everything you do. You know, the kids love you, the coaches love you, and keep doing your thing. You know, if you was to ever leave, I'd probably leave as well.
Hey man, leaving is not in the cards at this moment. I've had, again, I'm not from here, came here, they opened the doors. I've been given opportunity after opportunity at Laurel, and I want to continue to show my appreciation for that by supporting the team, the school.
Cool.
All right. Well, we appreciate you. You know, we'll be talking because that's all we do anyway.
Yep.
Appreciate you and have a good night.
All right, guys. Thank you for having me on. Being the first AD, appreciate it.
Gotcha.
No problem, man.
All right. That was Coach Donald Cleveland, athletic director and head baseball coach at Laurel High School. I didn't get to ask him many baseball questions like I wanted to because the AD stuff was fascinating. So, but I appreciate him for taking the time to come on today. Midnight, go ahead and give us let us know what's going on this week on the Sideline Junkies Podcast Network.
So this week, Tuesday, tomorrow, we got Unapologetic Sports at 6:30. 7:45, we have the Tuesday night flight with myself and the big guy KG. Wednesday, we have an episode of Nothing But Net, but we got a little mixed up in the lineup because C. Perry won't be there. So I think it's me, myself, and Josh Walker from Highly Opinionated. And we might have the big guy KG jump in with us. What's that? That's Wednesday. Thursday, we have, of course, the Thursday Night Throwdown, the best show on Friday Eve. And then we go into Saturday with the WrestleManiacs, Sunday with the Sunday Rise, and then we come back and we do the whole whirlwind and come back to Monday where we have Drive Time dropping their show. And then, of course, we got you coming back with Pretenders and Contenders on next Monday.
All right. Like I said, so every show that he just listed, except for Drive Time, you're going to see his face because he's the hardest working man in podcast land. But that's my guy there. Even though he's a UNC fan, that's my guy there. So, hey, man, we appreciate y'all for checking in tonight. Those of y'all that's going to watch the game, hope you enjoy that shit. And I hope they show a bunch of Cameron Boozer National Player of the Year commercials during the game. But I appreciate y'all. I don't want to hear what you got to say right now. We out of here.